Vaping. For a while there, it really seemed like the perfect solution, right? A clean, modern way to ditch the dangers of smoking. But what starts out as this seemingly harmless cloud can hide a much, much darker reality. So let's get into the really complex story behind all that vapor. And you can totally see why it got so popular. I mean, one source we looked at put it perfectly. Vaping is amazing because it's just a super effective way to deliver nicotine, which happens to be one of the most popular drugs on the planet. It is literally designed to feel good, and that is a powerful, powerful draw. So, what is it that makes it feel so good? Let's break down why nicotine, the main ingredient we're talking about here, has such a powerful hold on us. What's so fascinating about nicotine is its kind of dual personality. On one hand, it's a stimulant. It helps you focus, helps you concentrate. But on the other hand, it's also a relaxant that can take the edge off your anxiety. It can lift your mood. It can even suppress your appetite. It's this best of both worlds effect that gives it such an incredibly powerful appeal. Okay, now let's be absolutely crystal clear on one thing, because this is important. If you're already a smoker, the science is just overwhelming. Switching to vaping is a huge act of harm reduction. You're swapping out thousands of toxic chemicals in cigarette smoke for an alternative that is demonstrably far, far less harmful. For smokers, this can be a life-changing, even life-saving move. But here's the thing. While it's a massive win for smokers, there's a really, really concerning flip side. Vaping's appeal isn't just limited to them. Oh no. It's creating a whole new generation of nicotine users, and the numbers, they're staggering. 20% of kids in the UK have tried it. In the US, 8% of students are regular users, and a quarter of lows are vaping every single day. This isn't harm reduction anymore. This is a brand new addiction crisis in the making. So how on earth did this happen? Well, a big part of the appeal comes down to that one word, vapor. It just sounds so clean, right? Like harmless steam. But that perception is dangerously wrong. We need to talk about what you're actually inhaling, because it's not vapor, it's an aerosol. Right. You're not inhaling vapor, you're inhaling an aerosol. And this slide really gets to the heart of it. See, unlike a gas, like steam, an aerosol is actually a cloud of tiny liquid and solid particles. So a better way to think of it is as a warm, sticky mist that's specifically engineered to coat the inside of your lungs for maximum absorption. And if that still sounds a little abstract, think about this analogy. It's pretty powerful. Would you ever, in a million years, take a can of aerosol body spray, heat it up, and then just deliberately inhale the fumes? Yeah, probably not. But scientifically speaking, that is a much more accurate comparison to what vaping is than inhaling steam. So, if it's not water, what exactly is in this aerosol? This is where things get really murky, because the whole industry is surprisingly unregulated. It's such a simple question, right? But the answer is terrifyingly complex. And that's because, in most cases, we just don't know for sure. Here's the core of the problem. A lot of these flavorings are labeled food safe, which just means they're safe to eat. But heating them up to high temperatures and then inhaling them, that's a completely different ballgame. Take cinnamaldehyde, for example. It's the chemical for cinnamon flavor. It's perfectly fine in your food, but when you inhale it, studies show it can cause cellular and even genetic damage. Benzaldehyde, which is used for cherry and mint flavors, is a known irritant to your respiratory system. And it's not just what's in the juice. The device itself actually contributes to this toxic cocktail. The metal coil that heats the liquid, it breaks down over time. And when it does, it sheds microscopic particles of heavy metals directly into the aerosol that you're inhaling. We're talking about lead, nickel, chromium. These are substances you definitely do not want building up inside your lung tissue. So we've got this cocktail of unknown chemicals and heavy metals. What do we actually know about what it's doing to the human body right now? And this is probably the most critical number to remember in all of this. 10. Vaping has only really been mainstream for about a decade. That means for a non-smoker who starts today, we have absolutely zero data on what this will do to their body in 20, 30, or 40 years. We are completely flying blind. This quote really just frames the situation perfectly. As one researcher put it, we're conducting one of the largest medical experiments in history. If you are vaping, you're a test subject. Every non-smoker who picks up a vape is, in effect, volunteering for a study. And the final results of this experiment? They won't be known for decades. Now, while we don't know the long-term effects, we do know how the body reacts in the short term. When that aerosol coats your lungs, your immune system basically sees it as a foreign invader and goes on the attack. This cleanup process causes inflammation and fluid buildup. Your cells then produce extra mucus to try and get rid of it all, which is exactly why so many vapors have that chronic cough and irritation. It's literally your body telling you that it is under attack. So the long-term health risks are still a huge question mark. But there is one thing we know with absolute 100% certainty: addiction. And let me tell you, vaping has taken nicotine addiction to a whole new level. Vaping has effectively supercharged nicotine addiction. Think about it. Because it's so much less harsh than smoking, and because it tastes like candy, there's basically nothing stopping a user from inhaling constantly, delivering these incredibly high doses of nicotine straight to the brain all day long. This comparison really drives the point home. Trying to smoke a whole pack of 20 cigarettes is a challenge. It's harsh, your body starts telling you to stop, but because vaping is so smooth and flavorful, going through an entire disposable vape, which can have the same amount of nicotine as 50 cigarettes or even more, is shockingly easy to do in a day. The natural barriers that stop you from overdoing it have been completely engineered away. And what happens when that massive supply of nicotine gets cut off? Well, the withdrawal is severe. We're talking about intense, gnawing cravings, awful mood swings, anxiety, trouble sleeping, inability to focus. It can even make existing mental health issues like depression significantly worse. All of this makes it incredibly, incredibly difficult to quit. So, all this brings us to the central paradox of vaping. It's two completely different stories at the same time. For one group, existing smokers, it is an incredible tool, a massive win for their health. But for another group, young people who never smoked in the first place, it's a candy-flavored trap, creating a brand new pathway to lifelong addiction and totally unknown health consequences. Which leaves us with this fundamental question. For a non-smoker, when you weigh the guaranteed cost of addiction today against the completely unknown health costs of tomorrow, you really have to ask yourself, is it worth the risk?